Hello, this will be a video version of the custom Heist Track tutorial, since the text version can be quite lost and or confusing because of UI changes and such. Just as a heads up, the entire process will require roughly 40 gigabytes of storage on your computer. You check your available storage by going to a file explorer, this PC, and see your drives. It's also recommend you do this on an SSD. Start, you want to install the Epic Game Launcher. Search of Epic Games Launcher, you download it, you install it on Windows. You are required to make an account with Epic Games. Once you are logged in with Epic Games, you will be brought similar to this page, which not only you can claim your free games of the week, you go to the Unreal Engine tab, go to the Library tab, press plus next to the engine version, you go down here, you click on the numbers, and you click on 4.27.2. Then you click install. You get to choose where you install this. I am just going to install this with the rest of my games owned on Epic, and click install. The download progress can be checked on the lower left corner, and you can see here it would start. With Unreal Engine now installed, we're going to close that, have the Epic Games Launcher open, and we're going to go to Tab and go to Start Exploring. This will open a tab on your default web browser, and from here, we're going to not only log in with your Epic Games account. Once you've logged in, you want to be searching up LE Extended Standard Library. Of course, as soon as you spell it correctly, you see something like this. I already have this in my library, but you should see the option to add it to your library once you've logged into your Epic Games account. We will also be looking for another one called Prefabricator. We look something like this, click on it, and you add it to your library. Once you've done both of those, they should appear in your library for the Unreal Engine tab. What you do is click on Install to Engine, have 4.27 selected, and install. You want to do the same thing for Prefabricator, and have those two be installed in the engine. Once those two are installed, we can now close the Epic Games Launcher, as we do not need it right now. Down in the description, there should be a Visual Studio 2022 download. It should open a page like this and start a download for this. When open the executable, say yes to admin, close that tab, and press continue. Within this, you want to go scroll down and select desktop environment with C++. On the right side, once you select that, you'll see a bunch of options. You want to ensure that the options starting from as MSVC to GitHub Copilot has been selected. Now at the top here, you want to go to individual components and search for, if you scroll down just a little bit, the .NET Framework 4.8 SDK. You want to ensure that is selected. From here, I'm going to select download all, then install, then go ahead and click install. This will also take a little bit of time. During this, I'm going to unselect start after installation, as it is not necessary. With it complete, you can just close the installer. Next up on the list is the AudioConnect Wise Launcher. For this, you have to, when you want to download the software, you do have to make an account and log into it. If you do not wish to use your personal email or anything like that, you can use a temporary email. Use temp mail. You just use a temporary email address, use that to register and just save your login. It's very important to save your login for in case you want to do this in the future again, as well as to log into the app. So you would see click download, download an executable, launch it, press yes, hit I agree, and here's the launcher. What you do is on the top right, you want to click login. This is why you want to save your login information on the browser. You can go here, go to audioconnect.com, see to log in with the information, and make sure that it keeps you logged in. Press login, close the web browser now, and make this full screen. Now we're going to go to the WYs tab over here, hide these notifications. We're going to go down here to install a new version. We're going to click this, change it to all. For major, you want to change it to 2021. And for version, you're going to change it to 13. Then we do have all three of those. You want to click install. On the packages side, on this side, you want to make sure authoring and SDK C++ is ticked. And on the right side, you want to go over here to Microsoft and press on Windows. Once you have all of those, you want to then click install. Accept this, and wait for it to install. Once that has installed, you want to go over to the Unreal Engine tab, go to download, and do integration to use as an engine plugin. For this, you want to make sure you change this back to all, go back to 2021, and make sure it's on version 13. As well as making sure this is at Unreal Engine 4.27, as that's what we installed, and then click download. Press accept, and wait for it to download. Once it has downloaded, you can now close WYs. One final link to download is the Mod Workshop one, and you simply download a RAR file. Open it with your preferred RAR opener. Click and drag the Moolah project onto your desktop. Then, at this point in time, you want to go ahead and restart your computer. Once you have restarted your computer, you want to go back into that Moolah project folder we extracted, go to its plugins, engine plugins, WYs, source, AK audio, public, and we want to look for a very specific file called ESBZAK pool type H. You're going to want to look at the E area, look for this specific file. We're going to go ahead and copy this and paste it onto our desktop. Then we are going to go back several steps. You could go back with the arrows up here and simply delete the WYs folder. Now in your documents, you see a folder called WYs Unreal Integration. Open this, and you're going to simply copy this WYs folder, go back to the plugins, engine plugins, and paste it right here. We're going to go ahead and open this and create a new folder called third party. Make sure you have your capitalizations correct. We'll open this folder, and with our previous one, we can go to this PC, C drive, right here, your program files x86, audio kinetic, WYs, and SDK. We're going to go to click on and control click the rest of these folders, right click and do copy, and then proceed to paste it into this folder. Once those are copied over, you want to go back once, open the source, AK audio, public, and then copy and paste this file that we saved earlier. Once you've done all of that, you go all the way back to the Moodle project base folder. Close that tab. Once you have all that done, you want to right click on it and generate Visual Studio project files. This may take a little bit. Once it's done, it will generate this file. You double click on it, and it should open Microsoft Visual Studio. If it does not, it gives you a prompt of what to open. You just select Microsoft Visual Studio 2022 and say always. Now, before we start building this, I'm going to go up here and select from iOS to Windows 64, from debug game to development editor. Once you have those selected, you want to go up here to build, go over build one more time, and do Payday 3. Building the game will take some time, so yet again, be patient. You could tell it has been completed by the dot on the bottom left. There will be a build succeed. You can now close Visual Studio and now double click on the Payday project. It shall now open the Unreal Engine. If you see this prompt, you're going to go ahead and click No. You see this message, you also would like to say No. You could close this window that pops up. But this is now open. You want to go over here and open the launcher for WYs. Go to WYs. And as soon as you go to there, you want to launch WYs. You open this. Since we have no project, we're going to create a new one. You can name it whatever you want. I'm going to call this Payday 3 Music. Click OK. And it shall create the project. You can close this license manager. And now you go to, on the top left, you want to go to Project, Project Settings, Source Settings at the top here. Click the three dots here. By default, it shall look like this. You can open this, open PCM, select PCM Auto Detect High, and click OK. Click OK once more, and you proceed to press Control S on your keyboard to save the project. Reopen the Unreal Engine from your taskbar and close it. You want to hide WYs and hide it once more. Then you want to go to Content and delete the WYs audio folder. Go back to this and open Unreal Engine project one more time. Okay, you press No once more. You close this window here. Now go to Edit and go to Project Settings. Scroll all the way down to the bottom where you see the WY section. And then go to Integration Settings. You want to go to WY's project path, press the little three dots, and you want to navigate to your documents, scroll down to WY's project, double click on this, open the project you just created. You want to scroll down and find the wproj file. Double click to open it. This pops up. You can simply close it as well. And ensure this text box right here has the words WY's audio with the exact capitalization. And untick the use event-based packaging right here. If you get this prompt, you press OK. Now you go to User Settings and turn on Auto Connect. Turn on Auto Connect to WAPI. Go back to the integration settings and double check if the WY sound data folder is there. If not, re-add it. Let's talk about this prompt right here. You want to ensure it has the keyword WY's audio. with the exact same capitalization and everything. Now we want to turn on use event-based packaging one more time. If you get this prompt, you want to click yes. Delete. Now we restart Unreal Engine one more time by closing it and reopening the file. We close this. Now we go back to the project settings, go all the way back down, integration settings, make sure this is still all correct, it has kept the same. Go back to user settings and ensure that auto connect is still enabled. If it was disabled, re-enable it. Under user settings, under sound data, we're going to enable automatic asset synchronization. Now, Unreal Engine has been completely set up. Now is the time where you make the music. Now, from here, I'm going to click Save All, Save Selected, close Unreal Engine, and reopen it. You can always close this message log as it pops up. It's recommended to have Unreal Engine open and go back to here. You have this prompt up. You want to click on Reload. Press OK. Press Accept. And it should just work fine. Now, in WY's audio, I'm going to press the F7 key on your keyboard, just so you can see this screen here. Now, over here in Game Syncs, we're going to click on the tab, and from the switches, you want to make sure this folder is open so you can see the default work unit in here. We're going to right-click on the default work unit and do a new child, and do switch group. And we're going to call it music underscore switch. From here on out, make sure that everything is capitalized, lowercase properly as I type it out. And ensure that you are spelling everything correctly. This goes for me as well. After you create this one, you want to select it one more time by left clicking, and then right clicking on it, and then do a new child and do switch. This switch is going to be called anticipation. There are going to be 9 of these switches total. And they're all going to be named the following: anticipation, assault, control, stealth, suspense, which for this one, you want to double click on it, press Control C to copy it, and then presume typing it as suspense 1. Do another child, and this is going to be suspense 1 through 5. Ensure that you have all of these correct: anticipation, assault, control, stealth, suspense 1 through 5, all spelled and capitalized like this. Now we're going to go to the audio tab. Let's hide all these folders to make this a little more interactive and a little easier to read. We're going to open the master mixer hierarchy folder and open the default work unit that's also here. There's going to be an audio bus named master audio bus here. We're going to right click on this, create a new virtual folder named main. And then with this folder, we're going to right click it one more time. We're going to create an audio bus. And we're going to call it music. Now, that is the first time setup. From here on out, these steps can be repeated for every time you want to make music for this game. Now, for creating a new heist track, we're going to go to the Events tab, then right click on the Events folder. We're going to create a new work unit. And for the sake of organizing and make this It's easy as readable possible for the future. I'm just going to call this my username. It is also recommended just to name this after your username as well, just so you can recognize this immediately. I'm going to create this new work unit. Then we're going to create a new event. This event should be named somewhat resembling the music you're trying to make. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using one of my previous mods actually. Let me go ahead and delete this event. I'm going to be using a Payday 2 music mod I have made in the past. Let me go ahead and get the music files for that right quick. Now, here are the tracks I'm going to be using. Keep in mind that these are all in the .ogg file format. For this tutorial, your music must be in the .wav format, and a very easy way to convert audio files into .wav is by using a program called File Converter. Link in the description, there will be an app you can download that you can very easily convert files by simply right-clicking them and saying Convert to. You can convert it to any other format you want. For this, I'm going to select all of these, right-click on them, File Converter to .wav. It'll convert them all for me, and now I can have all the WAV files that I want. I'm going to go ahead and move these somewhere else to be a little better remembered. So I'm going to call here the siren song call of death. Paste this in here just so it could be a little easier access in the future. So back to this, since I know what song name I'm going to be using, I could just have it be simply called this. Since it's short, memorable, and it's very easy to organize. I'm going to do a new child event and call it that. Keep in mind, every time you do this, you do not need to make a new work unit. You could just have the one work unit and just have all the events underneath said work unit. Now we're going to go to the Sound Banks tab, right click on the Sound Banks folder, create new child, work unit. Now we're going to name this the same one I named the other work unit, just so this would be a little easier to keep track of. Create. Now for this, I'm going to select it. This, I'm going to do right click in this, do new child, and call it Sound Bank. And I'm going to name this the exact same one I named it in the event tab, just so I can keep track of all these for the future. Another thing to keep in mind that you only need to make one work unit, but you can make just as many sound banks under this work unit for future songs that you want to make. We're going to press F7 on the keyboard one more time. And with the sound bank we create, I'm going to go ahead and double click it. It should appear right here or open a window that looks similar to this. Now, in this little window, I'm going to go ahead and click and drag this over here. Now, in the Events tab, we're going to go back over here and double click on the event we've made. It's going to open a little menu like this. We're going to have Add, Play, and we're going to come back to this window later. Now comes the part to actually importing the music so Payday can play it at proper areas. We're going to go to the Audio tab and open the folder of Interactive Music Hierarchy. We're going to right click on the default work unit, create new child, and do music switch container. And yet again, it should be named after the song. Except for this, I'm going to use the same title, but have underscore song. Just to make it a little more different. After we create this, we're going to go back to the events, double click on this, and then we're going to click on this and do browse. And we're going to go to the interactive music hierarchy, open this little thing, or open this little caret, click on this, and click OK. We no longer need this anymore. We can now just close this. After getting this very far, I recommend saving by doing Control S once more. Now, With this, I'm going to go ahead and right click this, do new child, and do music playlist container. Now, I'm going to call it the exact same thing I have on my clipboard. However, this time I'm going to do underscore anticipation. And I'm going to do this several more times. Underscore assault. Underscore control. And one more for underscore stealth. Now to actually import the music, we're going to go all the way back to with our WAV files. I recommend having them in this format. However, since in the future you may create more music in the future, I recommend naming these all very uniquely. Instead of just stealth underscore intro, I'm going to have that underscore stealth intro. Now I have a tool called bulk rename. Have the selected files. And I'm going to do, where is it? Prefix. I do this, underscore, rename, okay. Just to make it a little easier for me. So now they're all very uniquely named and there won't be any file confusion in the future if you want to make more mods like this. Now, to import these songs is as simple as having two of these selected. Let's say anticipation. I have a build up here. I'm going to click, drag, hover over anticipation, drop it. And with this, we could just simply import. We want to do this for the rest of the songs I have here. So assault intro, import, control, throw this in here. Stealth intro, do the stealth, import. With all these now here, we're going to go press F10 on our keyboard and our menu should change up to this. With F10 press, you make sure you click on this so it looks a little more like this. We're going to press on this, do switch groups, music switch. With all of these, we want to go ahead and click this, shift click suspense 5, click drag down here, and these should all be dragged down here. On the right side here, there'll be 3 dots related to the anticipation. You want to click on this, and you want to click on anticipation for this, and press OK. You want to do this for the rest of correlated things. Control, stealth. And for suspense and everything for the sake of this tutorial, I am just going to be reusing stealth here. Now with those, we can now click on anticipation and open the anticipation folder. What we want to do is click and select both of these songs, click and drag over here, and this should be over here. Now, with the build-up, and I have both a build-up loop and a build-up intro. The way this works is as soon as the anticipation before an assault in Payday starts, it shall start the sequence from top to bottom. So obviously I wanted to have an intro before it does the loop. So I click and drag it above it. And now with that, this I want to loop obviously. So if I press down, it will loop infinitely. This will play once, this will loop. To see this happen, you click down here. As you can see, it transitions from intro to build up, and this build up will loop infinitely. We can now stop the playback, and we are going to go ahead and continue doing that for the rest of this. We select the container, we highlight these two, we could drag it over here, we order it in the way we want to, and we make the proper things loop. We hide it, reveal it, control. Now for control, I do not have an intro, but I still have a loop, so I shall make that one loop infinitely. I didn't do this. Make sure I have self selected. Do this, drag that up there to make sure it plays properly, and make that loop infinitely. After doing that, we are going to go back and select this. We are going to go ahead and uncheck continue play on switch change and change the output bus by clicking the three dots here. Open the master audio bus, main, music, then click OK. Now, we go to transitions. We select this transition. We make sure that the execute is immediately. Now, to make the stealth loop properly, because for some reason they made the game loop stealth in a very weird way, we're going to make a new transition by clicking over here, add transition, and with this new transition selected, we are going to click on the source here with the little arrows. We're going to go browse, select stealth, and hit OK. We're going to do the same thing for destination over here, browse, select stealth, OK. Make sure this one is at execute. Unlike the first one we've done, which is immediate, we want the stealth one to do execute instead. Once you've done all that, we're going to press F7 on our keyboard. And from here, we're going to do the little arrow and select our song that we have just made. We select Windows over here, English, and then we're going to do generate selected. Open this window, apply conversions, and it'll be done when it says complete with messages. Press close. Control S just to be safe, and we go back to Unreal Engine. We're going to go ahead and click No and cancel. If you see those messages, just decline whatever it says. Now, we're going to go to Window and do this option here, the WAAPI picker. We're going to go ahead and click populate a couple times and do generate sound data. We do generate. After it is done, we go down here, do save all, and then do save selected. Now we open in this browser, we are going to go to the WWise Audio sound banks. Go to the game is 23. It is named differently depending on what you chose. Go in here, and we're going to go in here, right click, do Audio Kinetic, and create a new Audio Kinetic bank. Now, this is going to be named the exact same way you named it in WWise. If you go back in here, you can check that by going to sound banks. You see the game is 23 folder I created and the thing we just created. You need to name it exactly like this. Now, keep in mind that if you go into sound banks and you do not see a folder like this, it does not matter. Just right click, Audio Kinetic, create a new bank, name it the exact same thing you just did for your song. Go ahead and click Save All and Save Selected. Now, what I'm going to do is close Unreal Engine and WWise. Now I'm going to reopen them both. Open the project, accept. With this open, you do not want to delete these. Hit cancel, close this pop-up window. Then you're going to go back to the content, go double click WWise Audio, and open the events folder now. Game is 23, depending on what you named it in WWise. And should only be the one event here. We're going to go ahead and double click this new event. And from here, we are going to select none to the audio bank that we created. We're going to hit save and close this. Now we're going to go all the way back to the content. We're going to go open the mods, Heist Jukebox, and music. And here we're going to right click and do blueprint class. Create a new one. You see this pop-up window, we're going to hit the little caret here for all classes. And in the search bar, we're going to search up PDA underscore. This shall lead you to PDA Heist Soundtrack. You select this, okay, select, and you can name this whatever you want, but for the sake of organizing, I'm going to do the same one, underscore BP for blueprint. Enter. I'm going to double click to open this. And in this field, this is what the song name shall appear in the Payday mod. So when the player is selecting the song, this is how you identify it. Since this song name has a very long name, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. The audio event, you want to click on none and do the event thing that you have created. Once you have done both, you want to hit compile, then save, then close. And at this point, you're almost done of making the mod. Just to ensure, you want to click on save all just a couple of times, then you go to file, cook content for Windows. For the first time, this may take a while. Once the cooking is complete, you can now close both Unreal Engine and WYs, as well as the launcher if you still had that open. Now it is time to structure your mod. From this folder I created recently, I'm just going to create a new folder. This base folder will be the name of the mod. When people download it, this is the name they will see, so I'm just going to call it this. Then this folder, you want to make these folders specifically called these. Payday 3 in all caps, content, mods, as well as a WY's audio folder in here. Within the mods folder, we're going to create another folder called Heist Jukebox. This folder, we're also going to be making another one called Music. Going back to the WY's audio folder, we're making a new folder called Events. Another one for media, as well as one more for sound banks. Inside the events folder, I'm also going to be creating the Game-is-33 folder. And the sound banks folder, I'm going to be giving it the Game-is-23 folder that I have. Now, if you do not make a folder within sound banks in the previous step, this is not necessary. Now, within the Moolah project, we're going to saved, cooked, Windows No Editor. And we're going to grab several files from in here. So we're going to go through Payday 3, content, mods, as jukebox, and music. We're going to go back here and follow those same steps with Payday 3, content, mods, Heist Jukebox, music. Inside here, we're going to copy our blueprint files that we created and then within Unreal Engine. Go back to this folder where we see WY's audio. Go in here. We're going to go into events. It's good to flip-flop between these two just to keep up. Game-is-23, Game-is-23. And we're going to copy the u.asset UEXP that we have created in Unreal Engine, as well as the your username underscore folder. Copy these and send it over. We're going to go flip-flop backwards. We're going to go into media. There are a lot of files in here. We're going to go ahead and copy this and send it over here. Go back one step, go to sound banks on each side. For me, I have the Game-is-23 folder. If not, you would just simply copy the following files in here. But since I have the folder, I'm going to be copying these files here into the folder. Now, those are all the files you need to make your mod. Now is to pack this. Alongside that download, way back when we got the Moolah project, there was an application called Repack. Let's go to Resources and extract Repack here. Now, within here, at the top of here, we could type in cmd and it'll open command prompt. What we want to do is type in repack.exe, pack, and the name of the folder, which we could go up here. In case you're struggling with typing, you could do rename, copy it with Control C, and paste it in here, and press enter. And there is your mod, the pack mod. Now, where would you, to test this before you decide to upload it or do anything else with it, you need to test it and put it into Payday. I'm going to go ahead and go to where Payday 3 is installed for me. And we're going to go to Payday 3, Content, Packs, tilde mods, and paste it in here. For this to work, you also need to install the updated Heist Track mod and its dependencies and whatnot. Now it's time to just launch the game and see if our mod actually did work. Usually what I do to test out if my mod worked or not is go to solo mode, no rest for the wicked, hit plan, ensure that random song is in fact off, find the song that I just created, which is right here. Again, ensure random song is turned off, and ready up.
The bank's vault is brimming with cash, waiting to be transported out of there.
Now, for some reason, it is playing detection tutorial. I'm not sure if this is a bug with the mod or not, but generally I turn everything else down with the music up. And if you hold tab, you can see the song name currently playing with the proper tracks being played and everything. You generally just want to run around and make sure that everything's playing correctly and right. See with the audio skip there, just sound awfully right, so you might want to edit that. By the way, for the WVise launcher, you can actually make a desktop shortcut for this version, so you don't have to open this launcher every single time you open it. Or at least want to open it. What you have to do is double click on this, and it immediately brings you there. By the way, if a song is ending early or kind of not playing correctly, it's most likely because of these. There is an entry queue and there's an exit queue. You have to make sure that these are both, you have to ensure these are both at the proper entry and exit for these. If you turn on to that, you could make it snap to clips and loops and just simply snap it to the end. Now, that is how you make one mod for this. However, every time you would make a new mod, the leftovers of the previous mod will be cooked alongside of your new mod. This is especially apparent when you go into content, WVise audio, and obviously the events and such will be named properly since you named it after all, and you'll be able to easily find it alongside the Games Smithy folder or whatever this is named. However, it is very difficult to tell what media is actually from your previous mod. So, to prevent this and make the flow of making multiple mods much easier, what you could do is select all of this. You do shift right click and do copy as path. Now I am going to open a notepad++, do a new notepad, and paste all of this in. And with this, I'm going to go and select everything before the numbers, do Control C, and then do Control F. And then we're going to do replace this with nothing, and replace all. Keep this little window open, as we're going to go ahead and remove the file extensions as well. So all that we are left are the numbers. Now, there are going to be duplicate numbers in here. To tell which ones are duplicates, if you double click, it shall highlight all the ones in here. So we're just going to go ahead and delete all the duplicates so it's only one set of the number. Now we have a set of numbers that are from our previous mod. Now I have a pretty handy program, or a Python script, that finds these numbers and deletes them from this list. So every time you make a new mod, it deletes the old files so it doesn't get tangled accidentally in your new one and make it accidentally a lot bigger than anticipated. So let me go find that Python script right now. Now I have the Python script here. As you can tell, if I edit it, here, script here. Now, this will find a text file called delete list, which I just so happen to have over here. Obviously, these are just temporary copies just to have an example of this. But within this delete list, I have a very big set of numbers from previous mods I have created. So I'm going to go ahead and find our numbers here and add it to this list. I'm going to differentiate them by adding a different space, just so I can find these just in case. With these in there, all I have to do now is, once I have cooked a brand new mod, I get to copy these two files, go to saved, cooked, Windows in the Media, Payday 3, content, WS audio, and media. All I have to do is paste these two files in here. Obviously, they should be named very specifically to prevent any confusion. And all I have to do is click this, select it, and say open. And obviously, since I don't have any new mods in here, it just deleted all the files that are in here. To run this properly, you are going to need to install Python. All you gotta do is type in Python download, download Python, and download the latest version. Might as well just go through the installation and ensure that during the installation you have add Python to path selected, that's the only option you have to change. If that strangely does not work, if you double click and nothing happens, you want to go ahead and type in command prompt, but run as administrator, and go ahead and copy and paste these following commands. These will all be linked in the description. And then once these two are installed, this script should just work just as fine. It's always important to keep this delete list with handy, as with more mods, the list becomes ever so longer. And that's it. That is the entire process of modding Payday music into Payday 3. Or just any music you want. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, or this visual tutorial, as this took very long because Windows sucks and I kept running into issues. Thank you for watching, and happy modding.